Okay, YouTube, I'm going to do an air test demo video on the Bounty Hunter 4-inch Nugget Coil, because there's not a whole lot of tests out there on this coil. I happen to have it mounted on my Fisher F2. It works great on the Fisher F2 and F4, just like it will on any of the Bounty Hunters. One thing you have to be sure of is you have the right connection. The older Fishers have the push-in style connector, just like the Bounty Hunters. The new Fishers have a screw-in connector. So if you're going to try to use the Bounty Hunter coils on the Fisher units, make sure that you have the right kind of connector plug. You can see in the background there the test targets we have. We have a quarter, nickel, zinc penny, copper penny, and a clad dime. And in the far row we have silver $half, silver quarter, silver mercury head dime, and a 10-karat gold man's ring. So let's get started. We'll start with the clad stuff first. And here's the quarter. By the way, I just have the detector set on the default startup setting, default sensitivity. So here we go. At 4 inches, that's reading, I can tell by the tone that that's, and I've done this before, so I've been looking at the detector. I know that's reading a quarter signal. Now as we move further out, the signal starts to break up. You still get something that you know something's there, but it's the ID is no longer accurate. I think it's reading a dime or something like that. So it'll go out to about 5.5 inches. It still detects that there's something there. If you want reliable ID, that's going to be at 4 inches. On a clad nickel, again, you still know that there's something there at about 5.5 inches. If you want reliable ID, you're going to be about 4 inches. Zinc penny, about 4.5 inches with reliable ID. About 5.5 inches with something where you know it's there, but the ID is not going to be accurate. Copper penny, and I have the tone ID on, so you can hear the difference in the tones. We're getting reliable ID on the copper penny to about 4.5 inches. The signal fades out at about 5.5 inches. On the dime, clad dime, reliable ID to 4 inches. Actually, reliable ID to about 4.5 inches. Starts fading out at about 5.25 inches. We'll move on to the silver, the big silver here, the 50-cent piece. That's 4 inches. 5 inches. Still getting reliable ID. 6 inches. It's you know that there's something there, but I can tell it's fading out. About 6.25 inches is where it fades out. Again, reliable tone ID is going to be probably about 5.5 inches on that. These depths are more than I expected with this coil. Silver quarter, 5 inches, still a reliable ID. Something's still there at 5.5 inches. It's gone, just about gone at 6 inches. So 5.5 inches max, reliable ID at 5. Mercury dime. We're getting reliable ID to about 4.5 inches. Max is going to be about 5.5 inches. Gold ring. we're getting reliable ID to about 5 inches. And real shocker for me, it's still picking up something at about 6.5 inches, a little over 6.5 inches for a 4-inch coil. I find that pretty amazing. And just like it says, it does great on that gold. I mean, they call these gold nugget coils, and guess what? That's the best that this thing did was on the gold. So I'm very happy with it. I think you know, and from everything I've read, these things are great for discriminating between the trash and the good signals as well. You can do trashy areas and everything. So get it on Amazon.com. You can get them shipped to your house for about $33. That's a great bargain. And that's the end of the test.